Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the late, great Chuck Norris, who passed a couple of days ago. Horrible that we lost Chuck Norris. Some people would argue that he's going to kick some ass in the afterlife. Lots of memes going around. He's going to go kick Death's ass and come back and get back to us.
He's taken over, yeah.
Yeah, he's taken over. He's the Grim Reaper now. And it's funny, and I think he would think that's funny. But yeah, so Chuck Norris passed, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't know Chuck Norris's politics, nor did I care what his politics were. But the media and Reddit are hyper-fixated on his politics.
The TDS is showing, basically.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We've got Variety doing an op-ed piece. His body's not even cold, and they're dragging his politics.
Yeah, but next to it, they have, unfortunately, Nicholas Brendan from Buffy died too. They don't make those comments about him.
No. And this. So I want to preface, because we talk about a lot on this podcast about who owns what. Variety is owned by Penske Media, as is Rolling Stone. And Rolling Stone, when Hulk Hogan died, pulled the same shit. They did. They. So we'll talk about this. And again, you see the difference, and somebody brought it up. I think we can. I think I can find it here. Just to kind of show you the difference that they definitely do take sides. Variety, when Rob Reiner died horribly, they celebrated his life and his accomplishments. Chuck Norris dies, they start ripping apart his politics.
Yeah. That's why these people are so perpetually triggered. It's all they ever see. This guy was someone who we thought was on the right, so we're going to rip them a new asshole. And they're supposed to be, and this guy's supposed to be one of the people in charge of Variety.
He is, yeah. The guy, the author is
somebody who should know better.
Is the digital? He's like the director of digital media, so he's in charge of the site.
And he should know better than to behave that way. When journalists are already under fire for being full of shit. People calling them what they call them, journalists and stuff like that.
Journalists, yeah.
Yeah, and things like that, because everybody they don't read you anymore because they know you're biased and you're full of crap. So his answer is to double down on that and make it the whole entire publication look bad. But they're gonna be like, well, we're getting clicks.
And it's the same author too. It's not like, because here's the thing: people are like, oh, this outlet thinks. It's like, well, no. Usually an outlet is multiple writers with their opinions or whatever. In this case, this is the exact same guy, the guy in charge of the website, who is celebrating the life of Rob Reiner and his accomplishments, and also denigrating Chuck Norris. And we'll look at the article. It definitely gets into some like hardcore anti-America, rhetoric.
And this is somebody in charge at a publication at Variety.
Clearly you're not unbiased, but they never were. Like Variety,
I know, but I'm
Rolling
just saying
Stone,
it's a bad look.
They're all trash sites now. They used to be. Here's the thing. This is kind of what happens with. We did the video yesterday talking about the collapse of media, and what happens is all these different brands that used to have their own identity get absorbed under these big company. Mastheads, organizations, because they ran out of money. They couldn't do it on their own. So Rolling Stone is barely a music publication now. It's just another left-wing, far left activist platform, and they do whatever gets clicks. And then, look, you knew what you were doing. You're like, hey, I could take a contrary opinion about Chuck Norris and we'll get lots of clicks and lots of
I mean, I'm sure that they wanted to do it to begin with.
Oh, I'm sure they did. They probably had to wait. There are probably obituaries for certain people at these because they work on the obituaries way in advance. Like people.
And then when he went to the hospital, they probably were like, "Oh, gotta get ready." Oh yeah, and I'm keeping score. So that actually does show you that they're keeping score, because as soon as the person dies, they're like, okay, let's just dump all the things that they've ever done or said that I didn't agree with, so I can kick dirt on the grave. It's shit. And like I said when I reshared it and talked about it, is this guy Chuck Norris has far more class than you'll ever have. You just played yourself, because now you're just telling everybody exactly what kind of piece of shit you are, because your Trump derangement syndrome is so much, it means so much more to you than people's lives. It's ridiculous. And you're like, well, because he's out of touch, everybody's out of touch. He's been this meme for so long. My kids even knew who Chuck Norris was and were upset that he passed away.
Yeah.
And the dude did a lot of good. He was out there like making sure his martial arts training for schools in Texas. He did a whole bunch of things for people like who didn't have the money to do it. Like he did far more good than I guarantee you William Earl has done. So we will talk about this. It's just I kind of wondered. I'm like, when he passed, I'm like, it, because I didn't know his politics. I'm like, if he was conservative, they're gonna shit all over him. They're gonna shit all over this guy. And like you said, he did do a lot of good. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
And real quick here, before we go out and look at the article, just Reddit is being Reddit, and it's the same shit. You've got people celebrating his death on Reddit.
Because they think he leaned right or whatever.
Yeah, and I love how they do it anonymously. Like I guarantee,
but they do it on Reddit because and on Blue Sky because they know if they're going to play else, they're going to get their asses kicked.
Yes,
The
you're going to
echo
get
chamber.
pushback.
That's where you're safe because a lot of these people are complete cowards.
Yeah. Same thing happened again with Hulk Hogan. Obviously Charlie Kirk. Now here's the thing. The difference with Charlie Kirk is, you could say he was a more polarizing figure because he was a speaker and he was outspoken about his opinions. I didn't even know Chuck Norris was a conservative. I had no idea what his politics, nor did I care. Now, as far as, celebrating people's death or being glad for it, I don't agree with a lot of Rob Reiner's politics, but I was wrecked when he died.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who were on the right who did not like Rob Reiner's politics, but they were like, but he still died, and that's awful. What happened to him was awful. We can acknowledge that and say we don't agree, but it's terrible that it happened, and he should.
Yeah, and how it happened is just, absolutely.
But that's what
tragic.
Mature adults do, and you're expecting a mature adult behavior out of politically pickled, morons.
Yeah. And that's that. I mean, this kind of thing never happened before. It would,
but they didn't have the megaphone that they have now. It's so tacky. It's like, honestly, when you make these posts, it says more about you than it does about the person you're mocking anyway.
Yeah, we've got, God, this is one of the top comments. This is coming from Stuttering Craig. He screen capped it. One of the top comments on his death: "Good riddance, you evil son of a bitch." Chuck Norris, you're calling Chuck Norris an evil son? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Real quick, what did Chuck Norris do besides movie? Chuck Norris is philanthropy. He started Kickstart Kids in 1990, a nonprofit organization that uses martial arts to teach character, discipline, positive values to over 100,000 middle school students in Texas. His charity work he did focused heavily on at-risk youth, veterans, and humanitarian causes, including veteran support, charitable partnerships with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the USO. They're mad because he got the Jewish Humanitarian of the Year award, things like that, because he wasn't going free Palestine and all that other stuff. But the dude did a whole bunch of stuff, like, again, far more than you'll ever do in your life, asshole. Kindly go fuck yourself. I don't think anybody else is going to do it for you.
God, these people are just, that's the thing. Like, why would any human being take Reddit seriously now? And why the hell would they train their AI on Reddit to treat Reddit like news?
And you know what else? A lot of people that are like, in the middle, but they might lean left, see this. And they see this behavior. They saw the behavior around Charlie Kirk. They saw the behavior, other things lately, the way they behaved at the State of the Union and things like that. And they're like turning away from it in droves because they think that you guys are tacky AF and that you're pieces of shit. Okay? When your own party, who admittedly a lot of them were like really far on the left too, think you've gone too far, you done fucked up.
Well, here, this is yes, right here. Here's his politics. Was he a conservative? He identified as a Democrat with no choice but to vote Republican because the Democratic Party went too far left. Being pushed out of the Democratic Party by party actions doesn't make someone a conservative.
Right, but they keep labeling you that because here's the thing. Why is he conservative? Because they said so. And here's the thing. You can be somebody who's an adult, and this is how people always have been until recent years, and this is, unfortunately, the journalists usually fall into this category. It used to be. You didn't have to agree. Well, first we looked at the candidates. And sometimes a candidate that isn't on your party is a better candidate, and you'd vote for the better candidate because it was about candidates, not party, okay? Secondly, you understood that if the person that didn't win, you're still going to work together, and you're not going to talk shit about them. You're not, it's like, okay, we're going to work together and fix it. The problem is they want you to recognize how they identify, but then they assign identity to you based on what they think you are.
Yeah.
And then no matter what you say, that's what you are because they said so. But you're not allowed to say to them, well, I'm sorry, you look like a man. You're telling me you're a woman, so you're a man because I think you look like a man. And they'd be like, that's bigoted. I already told you I was a woman. that's how I identify. And it's like, so I'm supposed to identify you as a woman, which oftentimes, you know, as long as they're not an asshole, I have no problem doing it. It's like, whatever, as long as you're not an asshole. But I tell you, I'm independent. I used to lean left. I still pretty much lean left. I didn't move. I'm the same as I was. You're alt-right now. It's like, I'm not on the right, alt-right. Yeah, you are, because I said so. So this double standard is this fucking bullshit.
It is bullshit. Let's listen to this clip. I want to hear him explain what happened, because that's what I thought too. I thought he was more.
We
like,
always
liberal.
were.
Why are you a conservative, sir?
Well, I used to be a Democrat, but unfortunately the Democrats went too far to the left, and the Republicans moved into their position that the Democrats were 40 years ago. See? And so what the Democrats believed 40 years ago, the Republicans believe today. And so I realized that I had to go to a Republican because the Democrats just got too far off the trail. They just got completely off the trail and lost all reality of what America stood for. And
They
so
don't
I
even care
realized
about what
that
America stands for. They want to see America burn. I'm like, then get your ass out of the country.
Republicans at this point in time are more focused on what is best for America than what the Democrats are.
So that's why they're pissed, because anybody that jumps ship, you are 10 times worse to them because you left the group. And actually, it makes them look bad when they have prominent voices on their side jumping ship, because they're like, when you've got Kennedys leaving, okay, you got a problem. When you've got freaking Kennedys leaving your party, you got a problem.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, and he's not wrong. And that's what a lot of people, I think people didn't move, the left did. And that's why you're having a lot of people that are being identified as, you know, they're saying themselves are probably independent, or they might be like leaning right now, but they're, you know, they're labeling them as conservatives because they care about America, where the other side, they demonstrate at the State of the Union and everything else. They just sat seated like when there are things that everybody should be celebrating as Americans, because they're so deranged and they're so focused on their hatred for Trump. It's insane to me. I can't wrap my head around how childish they are. So back to the article about the fucktard dumbass William here, who identifies as a straight pussy because I said so. You know, they're just, because they can't stand it. Like, at the end of the day, they had this, like, Chuck Norris had years of, you know, credit. He did all kinds of humanitarian things. He's, you know, was a meme for years in a good way. He was, like, you know, a huge icon. And this little fuck cannot stand it, because he can't separate himself from his derangement long enough to be respectful to somebody who deserved it. Because at the end, and like at the end, later in life, he was picking Republican sides, like a lot of Democrats are, by the way, because, you know, the far left has gone too far left.
Yeah, you know, even the way I'm looking at this article now, I'm like, this is definitely catty bitch. The very first,
that's all he speaks.
Of all the thousands of
catty bitch.
lines, of all the thousands of lines that Chuck Norris has uttered, we start with, "You're nothing but a chicken shit weasel who thrives on the misery of others, and when death calls, you'll be screaming like a baby." Why would you choose that?
Because he's
line?
a piece of shit.
Why would you choose that line? So yeah, it's basically him complaining about Norris movies being too pro-America. In every Norris movie, he's muscling into foreign land or other communities, kicking a bunch of ass, completing his mission and hitting the road, or neutralizing the new threat that came into his town. The pattern worked so well that it inspired a shift in other 80s movies. Can you imagine the jump from Stallone's A2 film First Blood to First Blood Part 2 existing without the Norris blueprint? Yeah, they were very different movies.
That was a different time too. That was a time when, like, the Cold War was going on and everything else, and people were very pro-America, which you should be anyway. And then you have these you know, activist morons like William here, who spend all their day trying to tear down the country that they're being allowed to live in. It's like, dude, if you want to cheer for Palestine and Iran and stuff, you are more than welcome to go over there and try your shit over there and see how far it goes. You're fucking blessed that you get to live in a country that lets you disrespect people like this, and you get paid for it. But I can guarantee you that your disrespect is not going to go unnoticed. And the respect people had for you, if there was any at all, is negative numbers now, because you did not need to behave this way. And even people on the left, you appreciate and respect Chuck Norris. Like, you picked the wrong battle on this one, little bitch. You did. You really did.
I think it was Fandom Pulse posted yesterday, the guy who played Chakotay on Star Trek Voyager. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But I don't like Voyager that much. It was the only Star Trek from the 90s I
wasn't
really
a fan of.
Yeah, I didn't really care for Voyager. I thought it was anyway, he even said, Chuck Norris was a good guy. I mean, again, this is the thing. You can disagree with somebody politically and still say they're a good person. James Woods, he talked about how Rob Reiner basically resuscitated his career, and a lot of people are like, how dare you say anything nice about him? Because I'm like, we didn't.
Well, that's wrong too, and I would tell them to fuck off
wrong.
too. Because look, at the end of the day, if you boil down people's entire lives to what the last few years of their life because of the politics, you're so fixated on politics.
But yeah, I mean, again, if Chuck Norris was a card-carrying member of the Democratic Party, he would have gotten a completely different write-up. Mm-hmm. I guarantee it. It's not what is being said, it's who is saying it and whose team they're on. Because we've seen Democrats say the same thing as Republicans, but because the Democrats said it, it's fine. Republicans say it's not fine. Mm-hmm. But because he switched sides, he got this write-up, right? He got version B. But they're calling Walker propaganda. They're basically like, something, get this. Okay, his movies used to show American strength, something that seems less fun in a year in which our country is funneling money into bombing Iran and ICE agents are acting like one-man militias.
This guy, okay, so let me translate this for you. I'm mad because Democrats told me to be mad about Iran, a country that was killing its own citizens. And by the way, Hillary Clinton said she was going to invade if she won the presidential election before. I want to point that out. And ICE, who are stopping people who are in the country illegally, and they're mostly going after criminals. Some innocent people are getting caught up. I'm not saying that's not true, but they're going after criminals that are here illegally, mostly ones that have done things to other people. But I'm pissed about that because the hive mind told me to be.
Yeah.
It's like you literally are a prime textbook example of TDS in action as a quote unquote journalist. You're not a journalist. You are an agent.
Yeah, pretty much. God, this is so. And he's like, I used to be a fan of his. We get this shit too. I used to like.
Well, good news. I still am. Never was a fan of you. So people are going to know remember him when he dies.
Yeah, right. While Hollywood takes endless shots for being too liberal or left-leaning, it's a short-sighted criticism considering the industry's decades of glorifying American military strength.
But you know why you have the right to say this shit, you fucker?
When a star is the poster boy for American exceptionalism and might, at what point does his legacy transition from escapism to dangerous propaganda?
Much like this article, dangerous prop. What case? So right, we'll go back to that last sentence again. So if somebody's known as the poster child for, leftist mouthpiece articles on Variety, at what point does your legacy transition from escapism and true, well, not going to say escapism, to reality and reporting and dangerous propaganda, William? Because this whole article is just propaganda.
God, this is insane.
Pot or kettle, little bitch. I'm going to say kettle because you scream a lot.
Oh, my God. So this is how he ends. This is his tribute.
You're not a fan of Chuck Norris, so you would never behave this way.
If Chuck Norris had not made that statement last year, this would have been a completely different article.
That's because he's a disingenuous. He's not a journalist. He is a TDS little piece of shit.
As a lifelong, God, I cannot believe this. As a lifelong fan of Norris, it brings me no joy to consider this messaging of his work as a whole. It'd be a lot more fun. Then why do it? It'd be a lot more fun to shut my brain off and enjoy these sturdy action classics. But his body's not even cold, motherfucker, and you're out there shitting on him. You're no fan of Chuck Norris.
You weren't. And the thing is, it's like, and if you were a fan, you'd be respectful enough to keep your bullshit opinions to yourself, at least for a while, before you went out and gleefully put this article out. You are a piece of shit. And if Variety were wise, they'd fire your ass, but they probably won't because they're a bunch of morons.
No, it's Penske Media. They agree with them. I mean, they're the same outlet that shit on Hulk Hogan. And look, everybody is flawed, right? Everybody has their issues. That every human being has their issues. Hell, I didn't know that Jim Henson until the autobiography came out. I didn't know they cheated on his wife and they were separated. I had no idea. But how they're remembered, how they're eulogized depends on what the media's political take is. And if Hulk Hogan were a Democrat, if Chuck Norris stayed a Democrat, they wouldn't have shit on him like this.
These people literally, okay, like the leader of Iran stuff that, they literally would write unironic articles about how kind and nice they were as they just got done killing a bunch of their citizens because the Republicans took them out. These people are just pieces of shit.
And the difference is, I'm not saying everybody, because there were people on X. I left X for a while because of the Rob Reiner shit.
Oh yeah, I don't agree with that either.
I don't agree with that at all. I mean, Mark Hamill, I know we make fun of his Blue Sky post or whatever. I'm going to be devastated when he dies. Right?
Yeah, like I would say the same thing if people were behaving the other direction as well.
Yeah. And you just kind of chalk it up to, Hollywood being Hollywood. But yeah, he stepped out of line. So let's leave the community notes on this shit article, because I've got access to those. Eat a bag of dicks. Is this helpful?
Sounds right to me.
Remember Chris Chan interdimensional merge? Well, it happened. Chuck Norris just went to fight the Reaper himself. Chuck Norris's legacy overshadows Variety magazine. Chuck Norris's death has absolutely nothing to do with the political theater perpetuated by the media. Title implies Chuck Norris politics of the issue. Article puts 2026 political lens on the benchmark. No. He probably wrote this himself. No, the whole article was shitting on everything Chuck Norris has ever done and being like,
because he didn't take your side.
Because he didn't take your side. Oh, it's hard to be happy about him. And now I look at it's propaganda. And it's just like go into others' countries and just kick some ass. That's not a good message. The only thing which ever overshadowed Chuck Norris was God's shadow. And even then it was temporary, as he's now standing on God's left side by side. Chuck Norris died in his sleep. If he had been awake when death came for him, there would have been an obituary for death in the morning. Heaven didn't, oh my God, it goes on and on. Heaven did get a new angel when Chuck Norris arrived. It got a new bouncer, sheriff, and undisputed heavyweight champion of eternity. Chuck Norris killed his shadow while shadow boxing. That's why you never see his shadow when he comes up behind you. Chuck Norris can never be overshadowed. Note not needed. Chuck Norris doesn't need community notes to defend him. Chuck Norris defends community notes. This is some horse shit. This is like, I'm sorry. It's, as a fan of Chuck Norris, let me gleefully, like you said, gleefully type up this hit piece on him before the body's even cold. Mm-hmm. As a lifelong fan. Fuck you.
But then, when someone agrees with me politically, I'm going to do puff pieces for them. Yeah, it's this piece of shit, TDS once again. He's trying to figure out how many hot dogs he can shove up his ass.
What a crappy way to honor a legend. You guys suck. Chuck Norris can't be overshadowed. Darkness doesn't approach him. No adult who loves Chuck Norris gives a shit about his politics. Yes. I didn't even know his politics until it came up.
Yeah, brother, shut about politics. Holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't care. He's Chuck fucking Norris. Shut up about politics. Holy crap. Yeah. The best part about this post is you won't get paid for it. Yeah, because it got community noted. The Libertarian Party. They're all saying your tweet is trash. It is. Everybody hated that.
There's a lot of people on the left who think you yeah, exactly. Amen, kid. That's me. That'd be me.
Wow, you guys need to be shut down. How about fuck off?
Brian, shut up.
Shut up. Shame on you.
Yeah. Simple Jack.
It is scum. This is low. Like I said, and you can vouch, I was very upset by Rob Reiner being killed.
Yeah, it's true.
And I had to leave
how it
Twitter.
happened too was just absolutely
how horrible. It happened was just like, I mean, I guess my thing with Rob Reiner was I didn't agree with his politics, but I just kind of viewed him as like somebody's like goofy grandpa that just was going on. Cause I had a great uncle just like him. My grandfather and my great uncle, my grandfather was Republican. My great uncle was Democrat, and they used to fight all the time, but they still loved each other. They still went out for coffee, And but I'd hear these old men just kind of going back and forth. And that's kind of what Rob Reiner reminded me of. Was just kind of like, he's a little off his rocker, but whatever.
Well, that's the difference between us and this dipshit who wrote this article. Is we understand that you can agree to disagree, and we understand that if someone passed away who we don't agree with politically, doesn't mean that we hate them and we're happy and we celebrate, because that's not what humanity is. And he just proves that he's less than human, and he hates America. So I vote we just ship him off to Iran or Palestine, these places he loves so much, and see how it goes for him there.
They're gonna love you.
If you hate America, leave, because you're mad about pro-American things, but it's like you only have the right to say what you can say because of those people who died for you to do it. You're disrespectful, and you could just fuck off. Canada doesn't want you either. I've been told by Canadians, like, we don't want your leftovers either. Just keep them down there. Right. We're going to wrap it up. Yep. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. Bye.